Kia ora, Helen Brahms here coming to you live from Colorado Springs in Colorado. Have you had a super fantastic, sparkling, thankful Thursday? I have had an amazing day. I have been making connections with everybody, but before that, we need to get to your challenges for the day. So how did you do with the mindset of beginning the day with a grateful heart? Going through some of the stuff that you're grateful for. How about business? Did you reach out to your clients and let them know how much you appreciate them? Remembering that for every month you do not have contact with your clients, you lose about 10% of your influence with them. Big thing there. And 80% of all sales occur between the 5th and 12th contact with a client. Think about that. Are you going in and expecting a sale immediately? Yeah, that's something like about 2%. You don't want that. You want the good 80%. So there was a link in this morning's video for you to click on to go check out that can help you stay in contact and do those 5 to 12 contacts as well. And then your fun activity was to find little fun things to be thankful for. Like I'm thankful for the little fan that's attached to my table here. Thankful for a crazy dog that keeps me highly entertained and amused and makes me take breaks. Let's see, I did a whole bunch of them this morning. And then I spent the day connecting with people, having a blast catching up with some people I haven't spoken to for a while. It was great. I'm very blessed for today. Today has been a day to be full of gratitude. Mind you, I'm full of gratitude every day, but today it just seemed to be more of a blessing because I was connecting with people I haven't connected to for a while, and it was really good to catch up. And I even made some new connections today, met some new people, and got to talk with some new people. So it was a very, very good day. So tonight we're doing a topic on how to start your family tree research. There's some things that you need to know when you're starting, for those of you that want to start. And one of them, for a sec, still live? Yes, we're still live. Sorry, my phone started ringing. Is that what you need to make sure that you get is a family group sheet and a pedigree chart. You can find them all over the internet for free. You can download them for free on just about everything. Ancestry has them, the National Genealogy Society has them. You can find them all over the place. Just type in free pedigree charts or free family group sheets, and this is where you can start recording your information. And if you have to pay for them, go somewhere else, because there is a lot of them out there for free. They're usually PDF files that you can download and just print as you need them. Also make sure you get notebooks so that you can keep track of all the stuff that you're researching. There is a notebook that I like, but I don't know if I can get it anymore. I know I've got a box of blank ones back in my storage unit in San Diego, because it's just a really good layout. But you want to put the last name at the top of the page, and then write the information down there about what you find about that family as you're going through. Date everything. So anytime you write a note in there, put a date on it so that you know when you looked at it, so you can see which is the most, so you can keep track of everything. Look at different surname variations and spelling as well, because different generations spelled names in different ways. Trust me on this one. I have one name in my family tree, and actually in Brad's family tree, that has 7 different spellings. And I have to go research every single one of those, just because some have U's, some don't, some are ER, some are not, some are AR. It's because when census reports were done, it was whoever was writing the census records, and they used to go house to house and sit there with their ledger book and write the people's names into there. So however they heard the name, that's how they wrote it down, however they thought it was spelled. Very rarely did any of them say, well, how do you spell that? And even if they did ask them, you had some people who were illiterate and didn't know how to spell. So then it was up to the census person to then write the name down how they thought it sounded. So yes, you will get variations on the spellings of surnames. So write down all the different variations of the surnames that you can, well, surname equals last name. So all the last names that you can think of for that. So when you're researching, to go through and check those extra spellings as well, or to know to look for them. The next thing that you want to do is that you want to talk to relatives. Start with your oldest ones first. Take notes as well as record the interviews. If you can video record the interviews, great. If you can't, at least voice record them, but take notes at the same time. They will have the best stories. I loved I love listening to my grandparents tell stories of when they grew up, when they were in the war, although my grandfather didn't talk about it, but I found out years later why. Because of the traumatic experiences that he had. He never talked about his war days. My grandmother, on the other hand, you couldn't shut her up about them. But even just finding out the family stories, listening to stories about, their siblings, their aunts, their uncles, their grandparents, because there are stories that are passed down from generation to generation. Listen to those stories, write them down, ask them for dates, ask them for, how did you meet your spouse? If it's, how did you meet your spouse? When did you start dating? When did you first meet? How did you propose? Questions like that will enrich those stories. And then ask your family members if they have copies of any birth certificates, death certificates, marriage certificates, that you could get copies of for your records and everything else. Those are noted, the birth, deaths, and marriage and burial records are all known as what we call vital records. And if you can get copies of those, sometimes when you go to cemeteries and go searching, and I'm one of those strange people. I love cemeteries. I love walking around reading tombstones, and when it's going to visit a relative, I like going to the office where the cemetery records are kept and finding out who is in that plot, because sometimes there are ashes buried in the plot, or there may be a child buried in the plot that is not written on the tombstone. So it's always good to double check when you go to visit a relative's grave. Pop into the office there at the cemetery or wherever the records are. In some places, you've got to go to the county office and tell them who you're looking for in the cemetery. They will they will give you a map of the cemetery, show you where the grave is, so you can go find it. And then they may give you a plot record as well as to who purchased the plot, when it was purchased, who's buried in there, whose ashes are in there. It will give you a list of everybody, because not everybody in there may be on the tombstone. So that way you can also find out, and you say, oh, there's a kid in there, didn't know that they had that kid, or something like that. And maybe it may not be a kid that's related immediately to those parents that are listed there. It could actually be a niece or a nephew, or it could be a grandchild that's in there with the grandparents because it was the only plot available or something like that at the time. So make sure that you ask for those records as well. Document everything. Whenever you find a record, even if you're doing online searches and stuff, keep a note of the websites that you go to. Document everything, because people will turn around and say, well, how did you find out that information? And you can go back to that, and it doesn't matter which online program you're using, or if you're using one of the software programs on your computer, you need to document everything, because if somebody sees your tree and goes, well, how do you know that person was a bookbinder? You can then go click on it and go source, and bring up the source listing of where you found it, where you found that information. What proof do you have? Is it a copy of a census record? Is it a story that's been passed down through generations? How do you know that person was a bookbinder? And usually it's on a census report that you will find people's occupations and things. Get to know your local library when they open again. Get to know your local library and the reference librarian, because sometimes the libraries have a genealogy section. Some of it will just be in the form of books. Some of them will have microfiche and microfilm. There's the Family Research Library that is in Salt Lake City that has a whole bunch of stuff. I have yet to go there. I was planning to do it this trip, but they are still closed. And the rumor is that when they do start to open, it will only be open to professional genealogists for a certain amount of time each day, and they have to have an appointment, and you have to have an appointment to get in there. So I'm not going to do it this trip. I'm going to save that for another trip, when I have several things I've got to go research, rather than just going in there just to look around. When I go there, I want to go there with research that I have to do. Join your local genealogy or historic society as well as a national genealogy society, because sometimes in a country, if you're in the national one, you may find people researching the same name as you, maybe even the same family. And then if you've got local ones or historic ones, you've also got a resource database there as well, because some of them may have resource materials that can help you. And then you've got other family genealogists there as well who can, you share advice, share tips and hints and stuff like that. and then learn about the different online databases. Like you've got, I've got them written here, Ancestry, Family Search, Find My Past, My Heritage. They're all online services that will connect you to other trees. They'll search other trees to give you information. They search the online databases. But the cool part is that I know all of them. I have purposely become members of the ones that require subscriptions, and so that I can be proficient in all of them based on what my clients have. So I'm not forcing them to go get a subscription because, I have Ancestry, you have to have Ancestry. No, they don't. You can have your database on Family Search, which is free. Find My Past, I can't remember if that's free or not, and My Heritage is a subscription service. So I've become proficient in all of those, just simply so that I can put the trees that I'm researching in the areas where my clients will be able to get them for the ones that they already have. Because sometimes I get clients come to me to say, look, we've started this tree, we just don't have the time to research, can you take it over? And I'll go, which site do you have it on? They'll go, I've got it on this site. Say, okay, you've got to go into your settings, and this is what you need to do to give me access to that tree so I can go and I can edit it, have the ability to edit it and look at it and that sort of thing as well. And from there, they can see the research that I'm doing, they'll see all the sources coming up, and every now and again they'll get an update from me as well to let them know what's been going on. So those are some hints and tips to get you started on your family tree research history. If you would like more information, please go to yourfamilytreedetective.com, and there's other information there as well about our services, about the subscription service we have, about us, how to contact us, and all of that sort of thing. That's it from me for today. I now have to go get ready for another call, and we will catch you guys tomorrow morning for Fun Fridays. Haven't decided what fun stuff I'm going to get you to do tomorrow. I'm going to work on that one. Oh, and don't forget, tomorrow is day 366 of doing Facebook Lives in a row. That is my 1 year anniversary of doing Facebook Live every day for at least one for 366 days. And on tomorrow's 4 p.m. Pacific Facebook Live, we're going to have a very special guest come on. If I can get the Zoom to work live stream to Facebook. I'm still working on that one. I went to do it this morning and I think I screwed up something because it didn't work. So I'm going to have to try it again this evening, like late tonight, where I can go in and delete it without anybody seeing it. But anyway, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Tomorrow I'll be back tomorrow morning with your Fun Friday challenges, and then tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. Pacific, I will have a very special guest on, and we will be celebrating 366 days of Facebook Lives in a row. I still can't believe I have done this milestone. It is, it's very surreal right now. So have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we will catch you guys tomorrow. Hei konera.